Hey guys, welcome back to Cannonball Repair. Today we have a special delivery. This delivery is from Dan the Van Man. What this is one of those Chinese diesel heaters. And he wants me to be the guinea pig and try this out, see how I like it, see what's good, what's bad. And then if all turns out well, we're going to put one of these in his van. So, this video will just be a unboxing of this, show you what all comes in this kit, what all you can expect with this kit, and then I'll put a link to this one in the description down below, so be sure to go check it out. You can go on Amazon, eBay. They are so many different versions of these. This one is a 5 kilowatt, 12 volt system, but you can get them 8K, some people say that 8K is different from the 5. Some of them got different housings, and then you can get a 2K, a 3K, just various sizes to whatever you need. And then different size fuel tanks. Now, just go check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. But let's get set up and open this box and see what we got in here. Before we jump into this, what I may put this diesel heater in is the old Festy. Now, it doesn't have much of a heat, and it's cold on mornings, and I do have a heat source out back, but that don't do me much good on the inside, so that's just help with tailgaters. But anyway, so this will be the test vehicle. We're putting this diesel heater in. Yes, it will be overkill, but we're going to try to stick it back here in the back, somewhere back here. We don't have a back seat, so we'll have plenty of room somewhere to put that. And you know, if that don't work out, I want to make this thing kind of portable, that I can take it out of this car and maybe make me a thing and put it in the window there, and so I can have, you know, some heat right here directly on the workbench. That would be convenient. But anyway, let's open this thing up. Well, looks like it's packaged kind of good. I don't know. There you go. A heater manual for the KW 2, 5, and 8. So, this one's got the, I think this is it, yeah. This is the 10-liter fuel tank. It's quite a bit. What we got floating around in here? There we go. There is your mounting hardware and everything like that for mounting this tank in these 3 places, and then your fitting where you would pick up your fuel. But we may do a top mount. That way, if you got the diesel fuel here is very dirty, you get a lot of trash in it, and instead of having to stop up your fuel filter and harming the fuel pump, if you draw it out the top, you get cleaner fuel. But anyway. Oh, another box full of goodies. What all is in here? Hey guys, check this out. It comes with a top fuel. If only that's big enough to get it in there. But see, this might be for tapping. Say you was to put this on a diesel vehicle, you would be able to tap into your factory diesel tank. You mount this in there, that way you don't have to use your 10-liter tank. You got a 20-gallon tank. Just, you know, make sure you don't run out of fuel. All right, we got hose clamps, fuel filter, zip ties, an air silencer. All right. Here we have teeth. I guess that would be for ducting it around. Here's your air pipe that you can bend and flex and turn to where you need your heat at. Air vent, that's directional. That's nice. Oh, two of them. They don't fit. We'll worry about that later. Your fresh air intake for your furnace. Your exhaust pipe for the furnace. Muffler and hardware. Your plastic fuel line. And this line here is kind of soft. This is not actually the fuel line you want to use. You want to use a hard plastic line. This line will swell because of the pulse of the fuel pump. So you don't get fuel delivery like you should. There's a guy on YouTube, John MCK. Go check him out. He covers all about that. Learned a ton from watching that guy. And your wiring harness. That's all that's in that box. There's your mounting plate. Uh-oh. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Now we're getting to the good stuff. All right, guys, let's see what we got here. All right, there is your LCD screen. Looks pretty neat. And this kit comes with the 4-button remote. You can turn the system on, off, and turn your temperature up and down all from a remote. Here is the fuel pump. And there's where the magic happens. This is the heater itself. You can see there, it's the 5 kilowatt, 12 volt, 40 watts, runs on diesel. Car parking heater. You got your fresh air intake, your exhaust, your fuel inlet. Back here is where your cold air comes in. And then right there is where the hot air comes out. So let me get all this cleared off. We'll lay everything out and we'll go through it again. There's everything that comes in this kit. So I'm going to get you down there and we'll go through each part of it. Okay, we'll start right here with the fuel tank. Like I said earlier, this is 10 liters and it's the centered fill. Now you can find some that are 15 liters that have an angled neck, but if that suits your build better, go with that route. This one was a little cheaper with this tank, and it had this controller and the remote system that we was wanting. So we just settled for this tank, which it'll be fine. Which there again, we may not even use this tank. We may come up with a different tank. But if you do use this tank, you got your 3 washers, your 3 bolts for hardware. Drop that down, bolt. And then we have the fuel nipple here, and you can mount this. You'll just drill your hole wherever you want it, whatever suits the build, and you drop that through and this nut will come off like so, and then you leave one O-ring on the inside like so, and say you drill a hole in the side here, you just push it out, put that O-ring on, put your nut on and tighten it up. Now I wouldn't tighten it super tight because you could probably, this ain't nothing but aluminum, and you know, it don't look like real high quality. So I'm gonna say that you could either strip this out or crack the tank, and then you're gonna have a leak. But anyway, like I said, if we do anything, we would do a top, put a straw in, and that's what this is. But I'm not entirely sure that we can make this work with this tank. And the reason I say that is because if you see here, see this piece right here, it is welded onto the straw, this piece here. So it's not like I can it's not like I can take this and slide it down through the top. It has to come in and up. And I don't know if I can make that bend. But if I can, we'll use this tank, this straw. If not, we'll come up with another straw, maybe another tank. Anyway, instruction book, all your mounting hardware. These would be used in these clips like this to mount your wiring harness or whatever. These 4 nuts thread onto these 4 studs. And here's your mounting plate that lines up like so. You gotta get it turned right. Oh, still turned wrong. There we go. It'll go like so. And you see your diesel fuel inlet will pop through right there. And that'll mount up. It acts like a heat shield and barrier there. Here's your fuel filter. And this is the first fuel filter I've seen like this, where you can actually unscrew the blue off and take that little screen out and clean it if need be. I don't know if that's a good design or not, but anyway, there it is. See, then you can pop that screen out and actually clean the fuel filter. That's pretty neat. So we'll try to use that and we'll see what happens. All right, here is your wiring harness. And now don't let a bunch of wires scare you. It's 3 plugs and then 2 connections. 12 volts positive, your ground, and then 3 plugs. That plug there goes into the plug that's on the heater. This plug here goes into the plug that's on the fuel pump. And the triangle plug goes into the plug that's on your controller display. So that's the easy enough plug and play. And then this is a fuse. So there you go. So that's easy enough. Let's see, hose clamps, fuel hose clamps, handful of zip ties. There's that remote I was telling you about. On and off, up and down. And then you got a little protective door that slides over it so it doesn't, you can't accidentally mash it. There's our control display. Your T-fitting, that fits into your hose like so. Your hose fits on here like so. And then you can cut that hose wherever you need and then add on to here and duct out, and then these fit into the hose so you can have directional. They give you 2 of them, so that's neat. Alright, hose clamps for the big hose. Now onto the muffler. A lot of people on the reviews of this heater say, well, the muffler's no good. I can see straight through it. The muffler's supposed to have baffles in it. Well, if anybody's seen a glass pack, they know that, they're a little loud, but they do muffle. They're not a straight pipe. It's not focusing real well. But there's like a corrugated pipe, about looks like that pipe right there, inside of here. No, excuse me, more like this, inside of here. And you can see that fuzzy looking stuff? That's fiberglass packing. And that guy on YouTube does a test, one of these that's straight through versus one that has internal baffles that makes the exhaust go around. These are quieter by quite a bit. No pun intended. But anyway, and it's less restrictive because you want this as free flowing as possible. Any restriction will cause a ton of soot, and it'll be smoking, and this thing gets stopped up with soot, and then you got to take it apart and clean it. So if you like cleaning it, then by all means stop it up, but then it's not going to be nowhere near as efficient. And efficiency is what we're talking about. That's what we're striving for. But anyway, and also pull the plastic off before you put heat through this thing. That would be a mess if you left that on there and it got hot. All right, this is your tailpipe. This will mount here, and you can bend this to whatever you need. And then if you want to run the muffler, it'll go in there like so. And then they give you a couple self-tappers and a mounting bracket, so you can mount the muffler up under however you need it. So there's that. This is your intake hose. This draws cool air into the heater, into the furnace area, like so. That fits on there, and then it pulls air in. You can turn these, kind of bend them where you want. You don't want to bend them too much. You want to keep it just as straight and kind of free flowing as you can. Then here's our fuel pump, and this is, you know, a metering pump. So there's that. Not much to talk about that. They say not to mount them horizontal, and then some say not to mount them even vertical, but vertical is better than this way. But they actually say, you know, 15 to 30 degrees, somewhat of an angle is what you want to mount it at. So keep that in mind whenever you're trying to find a location. All right, another thing about reviews on this heater, everybody's thinking the air filter is no good. The air filter pulls air straight through it. It doesn't go. This is not an air filter, people. This is an air silencer. It is not an air filter. It is an air silencer, which that guy on YouTube tests these. It's quieter without it. So we can modify it and make an air filter, and it is best if you run an air filter. But if you're trying to make this right out of the box an air filter, it doesn't work that way. This is an air silencer, no air filter here, which we'll probably modify and make it an air filter, but it's not an air filter to start with. It's a silencer. All right, and then we have our rubber fuel line, and see how that fuel line is really soft. And whenever you're talking about diesel, if anybody's ever worked on a diesel tractor or truck or anything like that, you know that coming off the injection pump, all the lines are hard lines. They're hard lines for a reason. That's how you keep the pressure that a diesel needs to atomize the fuel to burn. And that applies to this. Now this hose will work, but if you have the hard plastic hose, which we'll go get, because this ain't gonna, we'll go get that hard plastic hose, and it will deliver the pressure that that pump can deliver. It will deliver the same pressure to the heater itself. That way you have a better atomization of the diesel fuel that's going into the glow plug. But yeah, so there's that. Now we saved the best for last. The heater itself, guys. The heater itself. And when I took it out of the box, I noticed it is cracked here. So we'll have to put some glue or tape on that and get that held back together. But I tell you what, this thing's kind of heavy, guys. There's quite a bit of metal in there. That is the heat exchanger in. Intake and exhaust, fuel inlet, and this is your cold air intake on this end. And there is your wiring harness that runs out there. So let me clear off the table here and we'll get set up and we'll take this lid off and look inside. All right, guys, here's that heater furnace itself. This is what does all the work. But anyway, you take this black lid off, you unscrew your inlet screw, and then you can lift this lid off. And this fan here turns, and a lot of people have problems with this fan rubbing the shroud, but this one's not rubbing, so we're in good shape there. But anyway, it draws air in here and then pushes it across these fins on the heat exchanger and then directs it out the other end. So here's your glow plug, and then there's that pretty crack. We'll do something about that. It'll be all right. Your glow plug, your main brain that controls the unit is here. And these wires that run up to here is a sensor. If this thing runs too hot, it'll actually protect itself, and it's supposed to shut itself down before something catastrophic happens. So that's good. That's nice and convenient. Anyway, take this rubber seal here off. Pull the wiring harness up. There's that. And you can see all the surface area that it's got to. This right here all heats, and the fan here blows air across it. Looks a lot like an air-cooled engine. All in fins. You can see here's your fuel inlet coming in to your glow plug there. So, but yeah, that's it, guys. It's pretty neat. So, with that being said, we'll conclude this video. Be sure to stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll get this thing running. There'll be another video, we'll get it running, and then we'll do some bench testing with it, get it running, check it out, make sure it's right, and then we'll move on to the Festi, see if we can find somewhere to put it in. Thank you now. See y'all.